All right, so today's lesson is from chapter 8, lesson 3. We're talking about the volume of a sphere. When I draw a sphere, I think the easiest way to do it is kind of put a curve through the center, almost like an oval. When we talk about spheres, the sphere is made up of a set of points that is equidistant from the center. So it doesn't matter where I go from the center, all of these distances are the same, and these distances that we're talking about from the center happen to be the radii. So it doesn't matter where I draw that line segment, but all of these represent a radius. And then that black dot in the center would be the center, okay? So today's lesson, finding the volume of a sphere. A sphere has a radius, r units long. Remember that sometimes you may be given your measurement as a diameter. So remember that the diameter is twice the radius. So if you're given the diameter, you want to divide by 2 or multiply by 1/2 to get the radius, okay? So we're going to use this formula today. The volume equals 4/3 pi r cubed to find the volume of a sphere. So in our first example, you see that we have an iron ball. It has a diameter of 6 centimeters. So if the diameter equals 6, then I know that the radius equals 3. I need to find the exact volume. That means leave it in terms of pi. And then I'm going to round my answer to the nearest cubic centimeter. So the volume equals 4/3 pi times my radius, which is 3, cubed. So when I simplify that, I have 4/3 pi times 27. So I'm going to put 4 divided by 3 into my calculator. So 4 divided by 3 is 1.3333, goes on forever, times pi. And then I'm going to take that and multiply that by 27. So my about, or my rounded to the nearest cubic centimeter, is 113 centimeters cubed. Now I'm going to go back. I'm going to clear out my calculator, and I'm going to take 4 divided by 3, which again is the 1.333 repeating, and I'm going to multiply that by 27. If I wanted to leave my answer in terms of pi, you would see that the volume is exactly 36 pi centimeters cubed. This is an about 113 centimeters cubed. Okay, so this is exact, and this is about. All right, the next example is a composite figure. You'll see that I have a hemisphere, so half of a sphere, and then I have a cone. So I have to take the volume of a sphere, so 4/3 pi r cubed, and then I'm going to have to divide that by 2 or multiply by 1/2 to get a hemisphere. And then to that, I'm going to add the volume of a cone. And remember, that is pi r squared h divided by 3. So let's try finding the hemisphere, and then we'll find the volume of the cone, and then we will add them together. All right. So the volume of the hemisphere. I'm going to change colors here. So the volume equals 4/3 times pi times my radius, which is 3, cubed. And remember, I'm going to take that and divide it by 2 or multiply by 1/2 when I'm all done. And I'm going to leave my answer in terms of pi. So 4 divided by 3 equals times 3 cubed equals, so I have 36 pi and I have to divide by 2. So the volume of the hemisphere equals 18 pi inches cubed. This is the volume of the hemisphere. Now I am going to find the volume of the cone. So the volume of the cone is pi times the radius, which is also 3, squared times the height of my cone, which is 7, all over 3. So 3 squared is 9. 9 times 7 is 63, divided by 3 equals 21. So the volume of the cone is 21 pi inches cubed. Now to find the volume of the composite shape, I have to add these two together. So let's do that. So the volume of the composite shape is 18 pi plus 21 pi, which equals exactly 39 pi inches cubed. If you wanted to round that to the nearest tenth, just use your calculator and take 39 times pi, and you get about 122.5 inches cubed. Okay, so this is a cone and half of a sphere called a hemisphere. All right, let's try another example. So the diameter of a sphere is 8.8 meters. So if D equals 8.8, that means that R equals 4.4. I need to find the exact, that means in terms of pi, and then the approximate. So the exact, 4/3 times my radius, 4.4 cubed, equals, now I'm going to do the exact, so 4 divided by 3 equals times 4.4, and I'm using the caret function. Remember that caret function that we talked about? It looks like this in your calculator, or you can use the X to the Y button or the Y to the X button. I'm doing that instead of taking 4.4 and multiplying it by itself 3 times. So again, 4 divided by 3 equals times 4.4 to the third power, and that is 113.57 pi units. And my units are meters cubed. The about answer is multiplying by pi. My about answer is 356.8 meters cubed. So again, I took 4 divided by 3, and then I took that answer and I multiplied it by 4.4 raised to the third power, and I got 113.57 pi. So this is 0.57, and this is my symbol pi. Okay? All right. So the exact volume is 113.57 pi, and the approximation is 356.8 meters cubed. All right, we have another example.